It starts like any other day, until everything goes dark. No power, no Wi-Fi, no heat. The fridge shuts off, your phone battery drains fast, and panic begins to set in. At that moment, you're not thinking about luxury, you're thinking about survival. What if I told you there are 12 everyday items, yes? Regular household things that could quite literally save your life when the power grid collapses. These aren't high-tech tools or military gear. They're common, often overlooked essentials, things you might already own that become absolute game changers when the lights go out. We're talking about staying warm, staying fed, staying connected, and staying safe, all using items hiding in plain sight. Most people don't realize what they'll need until it's too late, but by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to stock, why it matters, and how it could mean the difference between chaos and control. So if you want to stay one step ahead in an unpredictable world, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now because we break down the real threats and the real solutions every single week. Let's face it, our power grid isn't as stable as we'd like to think. Between cyber threats, extreme weather, and aging infrastructure, blackouts are becoming more frequent and more dangerous. But here's the thing, survival isn't always about fancy gear or expensive tech. Sometimes it's about using what's already in your home smarter. In this video, we're diving into 12 surprising everyday items, things you probably walk past every day that could save your life during a total grid collapse. No hype, no gimmicks, just real-world hacks that could keep you warm, clean, connected, and calm when everything else shuts down. Number 1, coffee filters, the survival MVP hiding in your kitchen. When you think of coffee filters, life-saving probably isn't the first word that comes to mind. But in a blackout situation, this humble kitchen staple turns into one of the most versatile survival tools you can have, and the best part? You probably already have a pack sitting in your cabinet right now. Let's break down exactly why coffee filters deserve a spot in your emergency supply kit. First, and most importantly, water filtration. Clean drinking water becomes a top priority in any grid-down emergency, and not everyone has access to fancy water filters or purification systems. A coffee filter won't purify water on its own, but it's excellent for pre-filtering. That means removing dirt, debris, and sediment before you treat the water with purification tablets, bleach, or boiling. This step not only improves the taste, but also increases the effectiveness of chemical treatments. Second, wound care. In a pinch, coffee filters can serve as a sterile dressing for small cuts or abrasions. They're clean, highly absorbent, and soft on the skin. Just apply pressure and tape it down with medical or duct tape if you have it. It's not a hospital-grade solution, but it's far better than leaving a wound exposed to dirt or bacteria. Third, fire starting. Coffee filters are made of thin, fibrous material that catches flame quickly. Stuff one with a bit of dryer lint or petroleum jelly, and you've got a fast-igniting fire starter perfect for cooking, warmth, or signaling. It's lightweight, mess-free, and far easier to store than traditional kindling. And finally, coffee filters can be used as makeshift napkins, oil blotters, snack holders, or even toilet paper if you're really in a bind. They're compact, lightweight, biodegradable, and easy to stack in bags or boxes. Pro tip: store 20-30 filters in a large Ziploc bag with a few rubber bands. It'll stay clean, dry, and ready to deploy in multiple emergency scenarios. So, while everyone else is stockpiling high-tech gear and forgetting the basics, you'll have a stack of these paper-thin lifesavers ready to go. Small, yes. Simple, absolutely. But in a blackout, simple is powerful, and coffee filters prove it. Number 2, solar garden lights, the nighttime power hack you're not using indoors. Most people stick these in their front yards for a little curb appeal, but when the power goes out, solar garden lights become one of the smartest, safest, and most overlooked light sources you can use inside your home. Here's why. Solar lights charge all day using free energy from the sun, and they automatically light up when it gets dark. That means no batteries, no cords, and no fire risk, just consistent hands-free illumination. During a power grid failure, that kind of reliability becomes gold. You can leave them outside during the day, let them charge, then bring them inside at night to light hallways, bathrooms, or bedrooms. They're especially helpful for families with kids or elderly members who may struggle to move safely through a dark house. They're safer than candles, longer lasting than glow sticks, and way more sustainable than flashlights that eat up batteries. Some models even come with a detachable light head that you can use, like a mini lantern. And here's the beauty. You can buy a 6-pack of solar path lights for less than $20 at most big box stores. That's a low-cost, high-impact way to prep your home without screaming prepper. Quick tip: when the power goes out, set up a charging station near a window or on your balcony. Rotate your lights daily so you always have a fresh set ready by sunset. So while everyone is scrambling for AA batteries or lighting matches in the dark, you'll already have soft, renewable light glowing in every room, thanks to the simplest outdoor gadget you never thought to bring inside. In a grid-down world, energy independence starts small. Solar garden lights prove that sometimes survival isn't about buying more, it's about using what you already have smarter. Number 3. Cat litter, the sanitation lifesaver you never knew you needed. You might associate it with furry friends, but in a power grid collapse, cat litter quickly transforms into one of the most practical items in your entire emergency kit even if you don't own a cat. Why? Because when the power goes out, there's a high chance your plumbing might fail too. No electricity means water treatment plants can stop functioning, and if you're on a well, no electricity equals no pump. That leaves you in a tough spot. How do you manage human waste safely in a sanitary way? That's where cat litter comes in. Its primary purpose to absorb moisture and control odorous, exactly what you need for a DIY emergency toilet. Just line a 5-gallon bucket or regular trash can with a heavy-duty bag, do your business, and cover each use with a layer of cat litter. It soaks up liquid waste, traps, smells, and makes disposal far easier and more hygienic. Think about it. A single 20-pound bag can last one person over a week in a grid-down scenario, and it's incredibly cheap, just a few dollars at most grocery or hardware stores. Beyond waste management, cat litter also has other survival uses. In winter, you can scatter it on icy steps or driveways to add traction. In humid conditions, it can act as a dehumidifier in small spaces like closets or cabinets, helping protect food or supplies from moisture damage. Pro tip: opt for non-clumping, unscented clay litter. It's cheaper, more absorbent, and better for emergency use than the perfumed kind made for indoor pets. Let's be honest, most people preparing for blackouts think about food, water, maybe some candles, but very few think about what happens after the 3rd or 4th bathroom trip without a flush. So if you want to stay ahead of the curve and ahead of the STINCAD cat litter to your list, because when everything goes dark, staying clean and managing waste becomes a survival skill all its own. Number 4. Ziploc bags, your invisible shield against chaos. At first glance, Ziploc bags might seem too ordinary to be considered survival gear, but in a blackout or grid failure, these humble plastic pouches become one of the most versatile and protective tools you can possibly have. Here's the first big advantage: waterproofing. Power outages often bring storms, leaks, or burst pipes. Ziploc bags can instantly protect vital items like matches, flash drives, batteries, or even your phone from getting soaked. Just slide them in, seal the bag, and you've got an instant waterproof shield. Second, they're essential for food storage and rationing. If you're portioning out limited meals or trying to stretch canned goods, quart and gallon-sized bags let you divide food cleanly, seal out air, and prevent spoilage. Unlike bulky Tupperware, they don't take up much space and can be stacked or packed tightly. Third, Ziplocs offer emergency medical utility. You can store pills, bandages, or even use a clean bag as an improvised cold compress by filling it with ice or cold water. In high humidity situations, they also keep powders or hygiene products from clumping or spoiling. Another overlooked use? Water carrying? While they're not ideal for long-term storage, in a pinch, a heavy-duty Ziploc bag can help transport clean drinking water from a nearby source, especially when paired with duct tape for reinforcement. Here is a pro tip: keep an assortment of sizes: snack, sandwich, quart, and gallon in your emergency bin. Pack them flat to save space, and throw in a Sharpie for labeling contents or dates. Most people don't realize how many tasks Ziploc bags can handle until the power's out and panic sets in. But you will, because when the grid goes down, it's not just about what you have, it's about how well it's protected. Number 5. Over-the-door shoe organizer, vertical storage that can save your supplies. When you think about prepping for a blackout, your first thought probably isn't a shoe organizer. But in a grid-down emergency, this cheap, everyday item becomes one of the smartest ways to keep your critical supplies organized, visible, and ready to grab. Most over-the-door shoe organizers come with 12 to 24 clear plastic pockets. Now picture this. Instead of shoes, you fill those pockets with flashlights, batteries, lighters, first aid gear, canned food, snacks, medicine, water pouches, even small tools. Suddenly, you've got a fully visible, compact emergency station hanging right on your pantry or closet door. In a blackout, the last thing you want is to be digging through drawers or dark bins trying to find a flashlight or a box of matches. This system keeps everything in plain sight and easy to access even in low light. Plus, it saves precious shelf and floor space, which is especially useful if you're prepping in a small apartment or shared space. Another bonus? It helps you rotate stock easily. When you can see what you've stored, you're more likely to swap out expired items and keep your kit fresh. No more forgotten batteries from 5 years ago or stale crackers at the bottom of a plastic tub. It's also mobile. In an evacuation scenario, you can roll it up and toss it into your car or emergency bage. Everything stays together, and you don't waste time packing. Prep tip: get the clear plastic kind, not the fabric ones. Being able to see what's inside each pocket instantly can save you time, and maybe even your life when things go south. So while it may look like a closet organizer, in a blackout, this is your command center. A $10 item that can keep your most important supplies where they belong, right at your fingertips. Number 6. Aluminum foil, the survival sheet hiding in your kitchen drawer. Aluminum foil is one of those things you use without thinking, wrapping leftovers, covering baking trays, maybe lining the grill. But in a blackout, this everyday kitchen staple turns into a multi-purpose survival tool that can make a real difference. Let's start with one of its most practical uses: cooking without electricity. If you've got a portable stove, fire pit, or even hot coals, aluminum foil can be shaped into a makeshift pan or wrapped around food for easy, low-mess cooking. No need for pots or pans, just form it into a bowl, bake packet-style meals, or heat water if necessary. It also works as a heat reflector. In cold conditions, placing foil behind a heat source like a candle or small fire can help bounce warmth back into a room. You can even line the inside of a cardboard box with foil to create a DIY solar oven on a sunny day. Then there's signal use. If you're ever in a situation where you need to be spotted, a sheet of foil can reflect light and act as a visual signal to rescuers or neighbors. The shine makes it more visible than most fabrics or gear you might have. Aluminum foil is also a solid insulator. Wrapping items like batteries, food, or even parts of your body in foil can help retain heat. While it's not a replacement for real insulation, it buys you valuable time, especially if you're caught in the cold. Prep tip: keep a full roll or two in your emergency kit, and consider cutting some sheets ahead of time so they're ready to use without unrolling in the dark. It's lightweight, flexible, cheap, and takes up almost no space. But in a blackout, aluminum foil is more than a kitchen accessory. It's a life-saving utility sheet that can cook, heat, reflect, and even help you signal for help. Number 7. Hand warmers, pocket-sized heat that could be a lifesaver. When the power goes out in the middle of winter, staying warm isn't just about comfort, it can become a matter of survival. That's where hand warmers come in. These little packets might seem simple, but in a blackout, they deliver instant portable heat when you need it most. Hand warmers are small pouches filled with iron powder, activated charcoal, salt, and a few other ingredients. Once exposed to air, a chemical reaction kicks in, producing steady heat for up to 12 hours. No electricity, no flame, just safe, consistent warmth you can carry in your pockets, gloves, or sleeping bag. Now imagine this. It's freezing outside, your home has no power, no heat, and you're trying to keep your kids or elderly parents from getting dangerously cold. Hand warmers tucked into socks, mittens, or wrapped around water bottles can make the difference between mild discomfort and early-stage hypothermia. And it's not just about body heat. You can also use them to protect electronics. In extreme colds, phones and battery packs lose charge fast. A hand warmer in your gear bag can keep devices functioning longer in sub-zero temps. They're also perfect for bug-out bags, glove compartments, and emergency bins. Lightweight, inexpensive, and shelf-stable for years, you can buy them in bulk without breaking the bank. And since they're air-activated, there's no learning curve, just open and go. Prep tip: always store hand warmers in their original airtight packaging, and consider labeling them by expiration date. Some types even have adhesive backs, so you can stick them inside clothing layers. Let's face it, when the grid fails, staying warm becomes a top priority. Blankets help, sure, but hand warmers give you mobile heat, right when and where you need it. They're the kind of item most people don't think about until it's too late, but not you. You're ahead of the game, and a few packets of this everyday heat could end up being the smartest thing in your entire kit. Number 8. Empty prescription bottles. Tiny containers, massive utility. Most people toss them out without a second thought, but empty prescription bottles are a hidden gem when it comes to survival and blackout prepping. These little plastic cylinders, usually child-proof and durable, are far more than just pill holders. They're compact, waterproof, and incredibly versatile. Let's start with the obvious use: organizing small essentials. During a power outage, you don't want to fumble through bags or boxes looking for loose pills, vitamins, or water purification tablets. Prescription bottles make it easy to pre-sort and label individual doses. No mess, no confusion, just pop the lid and you're ready. But it doesn't stop at medication. These bottles are perfect for storing matches, cotton balls, sewing kits, fishing lines, spare batteries, even mini fire starters. Their rigid design protects fragile items from being crushed, and their tight seal keeps out moisture, dirt, and insects, 3 enemies of any emergency stash. You can also use them for cash storage. Tightly roll up small bills or coins and stash them in your kit without worrying about damage. Want to hide valuables? These bottles tuck neatly into shoes, bags, or glove compartments and don't draw attention. One overlooked use: they make great mini first aid kits. Fill one with a few Band-Aids, alcohol wipes, and a couple of painkillers, and you've got a grab-and-go medical kit that fits in your pocket. Prep tip: remove old labels and mark the bottles clearly using a permanent marker or printed stickers. Color code the lids with tape so you can quickly spot what's inside, even in low light. So while everyone else is overlooking these trash items, you'll be turning them into tactical storage tools that save space, reduce clutter, and protect your most important gear. In a blackout, every second counts. The more organized and prepared you are, the faster you can react, and prescription bottles give you that edge, all while costing you absolutely nothing. Number 9. Trash can with lid. Your emergency toilet when plumbing fails. It's not the flashiest item on your emergency checklist, but when the power goes out and the plumbing goes without, a simple trash can with a lid suddenly becomes one of the most critical tools in your home. Here's the deal. During a prolonged grid failure, water systems often get disrupted. That means no flushing toilets, and if your home relies on an electric well pump, you're completely out of luck. After just a few hours, that quickly turns into a hygiene crisis. This is where a standard kitchen or outdoor trash can with a tight-fitting lid comes in. Combine it with heavy-duty contractor bags and cat litter. Remember number 3? And you've got yourself a DIY emergency toilet that's safer, cleaner, and way more manageable than most people realize. Here's how it works. Line the trash can with a thick garbage bag, do your business, then cover it with a layer of litter to absorb moisture and kill odor. Close the lid to keep smells in and pests out. When full, tie off the bag and store it outside in a sealed container until proper disposal is possible. This setup helps prevent the spread of bacteria, keeps your home livable, and avoids putting extra stress on already fragile plumbing systems. You can also use the trash can for wastewater, dirty laundry, or contaminated items during an emergency. Its tight seal makes it ideal for storing smelly or hazardous materials safely away from your living space. Prep tip: designate one trash can specifically for this purpose and label it clearly. Keep extra liners, gloves, and sanitizer nearby so it's ready at a moment's notice. In a blackout, managing waste the right way keeps you healthy and your living space safe. It's one of those things people don't want to think about until it's too late. But you'll be ahead of the game, turning a basic household item into a life-saving sanitation tool when things get messy. Number 10. Dryer lint. The free fire starter sitting in your laundry room. You've probably thrown it away hundreds of times without thinking, but dryer lint might just be the best free fire-starting material you're not using. In a blackout, especially in cold or wet conditions, being able to start a fire quickly and reliably can be the difference between warmth and real danger. Dryer lint is incredibly flammable. It's made up of tiny, dry fibers from your clothes, mainly cotton and synthetic materials, which catch fire with minimal effort. One spark from a lighter or a few strikes of a ferro rod, and it ignites almost instantly. That makes it perfect for getting your fire going, even if your wood is damp or conditions are less than ideal. But here's the kicker. It's not just effective, it's free. You create a new batch every time you dry your clothes. All you have to do is save it. Keep a few handfuls in a Ziploc bag or an old prescription bottle. See number 8, and you've got a ready-to-go fire starter that weighs next to nothing and takes up barely any space. Want to make it even better? Mix the lint with a bit of petroleum jelly. This combo burns longer, hotter, and gives you extra time to get your kindling going. It's one of the oldest tricks in the bushcraft book, and it works every single time. You can also pack dryer lint into old toilet paper rolls or cardboard egg cartons to make DIY fire bricks. Just light one end, and you'll have a sustained flame to build your fire from. Prep tip: stick with lint from natural fabrics like cotton. Synthetic lint can melt and produce toxic fumes, fine for survival, but not ideal for indoor use. So while others are struggling to get a fire started with wet sticks or cheap matches, you'll be lighting up safely and easily using something you've had all along. In a blackout, a warm fire isn't just comfort, it's survival, and dryer lint is your unexpected hero. Number 11. Dish soap, your all-purpose weapon for cleanliness and control. You might only think of dish soap when it's time to tackle a pile of dirty plates, but during a power grid failure, this everyday kitchen essential turns into a multi-use hygiene powerhouse that can protect you from far more than greasy pans. Let's start with the basics. In a blackout, access to clean, running water may be limited. That makes it harder to maintain hygiene, especially when dealing with contaminated surfaces, used utensils, or even your own hands. A few drops of concentrated dish soap mixed with water can go a long way. It breaks down grease, dirt, and bacteria more effectively than plain water alone. In fact, during disaster relief operations, emergency workers often use dish soap in makeshift sanitation setups because it's gentle, effective, and widely available. But the utility doesn't stop at cleaning dishes. You can also use dish soap to wash, produce, clean wounds, sanitize tools, or even make an improvised body wash when there's no access to showers. Insect problems? Mix a little dish soap with water in a spray bottle, and you've got a quick, non-toxic bug repellent for your windowsills and storage bins. Dish soap is also key in managing cross-contamination. If you're preparing food in dim lighting or with limited water, a small, portable bottle of soap helps you keep your prep area clean and your risk of foodborne illness low. And here's something most people overlook. It's also useful for identifying leaks. If you're using a propane stove or gas backup system, applying a bit of soapy water around valves can help you spot gas leaks by the bubbles it creates. An old trick, but one that can save your life. Prep tip. Keep a few travel-sized squeeze bottles filled and stored in your blackout kit. They're easy to pack, won't spill easily, and will last for weeks in an emergency. In a grid-down world, staying clean isn't a luxury, it's a form of control, and dish soap gives you that control, one drop at a time. Number 12. Baby wipes. The no-water cleanup that keeps you going. They're made for babies, sure, but in a blackout, baby wipes become one of the most valuable tools you can have for staying clean, fresh, and functional when water stops flowing. When the power goes out, so do many of the systems we take for granted, like running water, warm showers, and flushing toilets. In those moments, staying hygienic becomes a serious challenge, and skipping out on cleanliness can lead to infections, skin irritation, or even illness. That's where baby wipes come in. Pre-moistened, gentle, and designed for sensitive skin, they offer a no-rinse solution to keep your body, face, and hands clean. You can use them to freshen up, wipe down after sweating, or sanitize after using a makeshift toilet setup. They're especially useful in hot weather when sweat and grime build up fast and a cold bucket of water isn't an appealing option. But their use goes beyond just personal hygiene. You can also use baby wipes to clean surfaces, wipe out cookware, or tidy up gear when you can't spare clean water. They're safe on skin, non-abrasive on materials, and disposable, which helps keep your space clean and bacteria-free. Parents already know the magic of a good wipe. But even if you don't have kids, keeping a few packs of unscented, alcohol-free baby wipes in your emergency kit is a smart move. They're lightweight, compact, and have a long shelf life if sealed properly. Prep tip. Store your wipes in a sealed plastic bag to prevent drying out. Once opened, try to use the pack within a few weeks or reseal it tightly after every use. In a long-term blackout, it's the little things like feeling clean that keep morale high and health in check. And baby wipes deliver that clean, one swipe at a time, no plumbing required. So there you have it, 12 everyday items hiding in plain sight that could literally save your life during the next power grid collapse. None of these are high-tech, none require fancy training. But together, they cover the 4 pillars of survival: warmth, sanitation, food safety, and peace of mind. And the best part? You probably already have most of them in your home. If not, you can get them cheap and quietly before the next blackout catches everyone off guard. Start today. Make your own blackout bin and stock it with these essentials. You'll thank yourself when the lights go out and everyone else is scrambling. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these items surprised you the most? Drop your answer in the comments and let's compare notes. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We've got more real-world prepping tips coming your way every single week. Stay sharp, stay ready.